All right, we are live. Hello, hello.
Good morning.
It has been a hot minute since we've been on here. Did we just miss 1 week?
I think it was just the 1 week, yeah, because of
It sure
Thanksgiving.
it sure feels like longer than that, doesn't it? At least
Yeah,
to me.
maybe. I don't know. My life's a blur at the moment.
Oh
So,
yeah. Well, a lot
yeah,
has happened in the last 2 weeks, and I know we're going to talk about our fitness, but I'm so interested and excited to hear about your visitors and from America. And I know we can't disclose like details and stuff about like what you filmed for the documentary, but the fact is you got filmed for the documentary, and I know that you were really nervous about that. And you had some other guests like Bella and Max. I'm assuming Dr. Chafee and Ella, did they come visit too?
no, they didn't.
Okay.
No, they didn't. So, yeah, just Kerry and Adam and Bella and Max. I had them over for the weekend and we had the best time. So, I was so nervous about cooking for these carnivores because I'm the meat in the freezer into the air fry kind of girl,
Yeah,
really simple, easy food. And these guys are like, they know their meat.
yes, they
So,
do.
yeah, and I think I aced it. I spent an hour with Todd, the carnivore cure, on a Zoom call a couple of nights before, and we spent literally an hour going through my butcher website, and we picked the cut of meat that I had to buy, and then he worked out the temperatures for my smoker. So apparently you've got to work out what sea level you're at, and then you can
Yes.
at the time, the temperature, but then from Fahrenheit, because we do Celsius here, so you
Right.
had to convert all that. And he just gave me all these numbers, and I followed that, and oh my gosh, that was beautiful. And Bella said I excelled Todd's prime rib. So I was
Yay! Go Todd for doing
yeah,
that for me. That's awesome.
yeah. So that was the big fear. Like the interview seemed to be a breeze. There was the cooking that I was more stressed out about. Can you believe
Yeah.
that?
Oh, yeah, no, I totally do. I would feel exactly the same. And I know my husband and I have talked about sometime inviting like Dr. Baker to come and have dinner with us because he lives just down the road. And he mentioned, Leah, let's get together. So I thought, yeah, but I'm afraid to cook for him.
Yeah. Oh, that did my head in, but it just went so smoothly. Everyone seemed happy. We all went back for seconds. We did try kangaroo. You can check out Kerry's
I
video on Insta,
Yes.
and you can watch. Yeah, it was my first time meeting Skippy, and yeah, my only time. I won't be
You
back
did
for
like
more.
it. Okay, so now you can verify what I'm thinking. Of course, I've never talked to anybody or heard anything about eating kangaroo other than you can eat kangaroo.
Yeah.
But I'm imagining that it would be tough and lean.
It's very, very lean. Yeah, and it's so gamey. And I've heard people say they don't like the gamey flavor. I never knew what that was until I tried kangaroo. It's
Okay.
almost a vinegary taste. It was awful. Like I didn't like it at all. I think
It's an
Adam never said
acquired
it was fruit
taste.
to me or yeah, but I did reach out to a lot of Aussies on the Facebook Aussie Carnival group and said, "Hey peeps, how do I cook kangaroo? I've got these special guests coming," and they all said you've got to cook it really quickly with a lot of butter because it needs the fat. So we did
Okay.
one steak in the smoker. We smoked it for like 20 minutes and then pan-seared it, and the other one we just pan-seared. The smoked one was a lot better because it got rid of a little bit of that gamey flavor.
Okay.
But no, we had a prime rib on the side as well, and we ended
Yeah.
up sharing that between the 3 of us because
So
we
is there another meat that you could compare it to, or is it its own thing?
yeah, I haven't had anything like it before. Yeah,
Okay.
so
Well, yay for the kangaroo. If it doesn't taste good, it's less likely to get eaten, I guess, at least by people.
exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah, and after going and patting all the kangaroos and stuff, we felt kind of bad eating the
Oh,
kangaroo, like,
yeah.
just a mental thing for me that they are
Yeah.
very cute, but yeah, the flavor was just not there for me. Didn't
No.
enjoy it.
Yeah, I probably won't eat kangaroo. I mean, I don't know, I might take a bite if I am in Australia or someplace where they're serving it. I might take a bite, but yeah, I'm not a big wild game eater. I just don't have the taste for it. I didn't grow up with that at all. Nobody in my family
Yeah.
hunted. My brother-in-law was a fisherman, so we had a lot of fresh fish, but yeah, game was not on the table. So, yeah, interesting. And we do, and they're so cute. We have a wallaby farm that's close by,
Yeah.
and we've gone to that, and we got to hold a baby wallaby, and oh my goodness, they're so cute. It's like I can't imagine eating it. But but
I
then
noticed Kerry put in the middle of the video a nice little picture of a kangaroo, and he was filming it. I'm like, why did you do that? Like,
yeah, like
by me, I like to think of it just in a package. I don't like to think of the actual animal.
right, right.
Yes. So you go to the shop, the center, like the butcher or whatever, you see the meat and that you don't think of it as an animal.
I'm even that with beef because
Exactly.
I love
Yeah.
cows. I just love cows, and
Yeah.
a lot of all the even before we were carnivore, we would always just go for like just rides in the country and just go drive around, and we would come by, you know, cows, a bunch of cows, and we would pull over to the side of the road lots of times and go over to the fence, and the cows would come and greet us. And, it's like, so I have this special thing with cows. And I know David and I have talked about sometime, buying some property and how it would be kind of nice to raise our own food. But then I told him you couldn't do it because you would name them. They would all be your pets.
Yeah.
And then you can't eat your pet. So yeah. So we'd have to have, I told him, I said, if we ever did that and we wanted to actually raise our own cattle for food, we would have to hire somebody and put it as far away as we could get, have the pasture. You'll stay away and you can have your dairy cows, and those can be your pets.
Yeah.
And the chickens, I mean, and I don't really like eating chicken. I really prefer ruminant meat. So we could have chickens for eggs.
You've got to have the eggs, yeah, the
Yeah.
eggs as well. It's
Yeah. There's
funny.
nothing better than
Go
farm
away.
fresh.
I did go away for a weekend with my girlfriends many, many years ago, like way before Carnival. And we stayed in this little cabin. It was like an Austrian type cabin and it had little cow relics everywhere. And we're sitting on the balcony, and across the pasture, we could see these little cows and the little calves running after them. And I'm like, oh, look at those
I
cows.
know.
Aren't they cute? And my girlfriend goes, dinner. Oh, I was horrified. I'm like,
Some people,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, my dad was like that too, but he was raised on a farm. And
Yeah,
so,
but she was a farm girl, so
yeah,
she'd look
if
at it and
you're
say dinner, and I'd
yes.
see beautiful little cows frolicking, and I'm like,
Yeah, it
"That's
is
so
like
cute."
totally depends on how you were raised. I was raised in the suburbs and not out in the country, not on a farm. My dad was raised on a farm. My mom was a city girl from Philadelphia. And yeah, so it all depends on how you were raised, but yeah, that's hard to fathom, like to be perfectly fine with eating these animals you've gotten to know. So
Yeah.
hi there, Zelda Faye from the UK. Awesome. Great to have you here. We got Simpson. Hello.
Hi.
We got the Ram Man. Morning, ladies, especially the gorgeous blonde Lindy. That's your hubby.
Yeah,
He
yeah, he
didn't
didn't
like
like
Skippy
me
either. Adam, hey, Adam's here. Skippy, it
either.
wasn't too bad. And we got Jay. I think cows are cute too. I know. But we got to eat them, right? Yeah, I can relate the dinner remark. I find pretty callous actually. Yeah, it's I think that if you're around other people who feel the same way and think the same way, it's probably okay, but I when you're not and you don't know how people feel, it maybe is a little bit. But I don't think they even think about it, you know. Like my father-in-law, he says dinner about our dogs. I hope he's joking, but he was raised in Eastern Europe and Czechoslovakia during communism, very difficult times. And he said, hey, if a dog wasn't working for you, it ended up in the frying pan. And I don't know if he's serious or not. I don't want to dig too
Yeah,
deep into that, but I know that there are places where even dogs are raised for food. So
yeah, and I hear horses as well in some countries, like,
yes, yes. So I
yeah,
know we love our pets.
it's what you get used to, and like you said, we haven't grown up with that kind of thing, they're our pets to us, and
Oh yeah.
I'm happy with that. So
And I still even struggle, like, we bought a couple sheep from a local rancher for the meat, and so we have the meat, and I think sheep are cute, and I like you said, you see the little babies, the little lambs
yeah,
in the field. So, I'm actually worse with the sheep than I am with the cows.
okay,
And
right.
yeah, maybe it's because they're smaller and cute and all that, but anyways, good. Well, I'm glad it went well. So now you know how to make the really good in your, meat in your smoker. So that's great. And did he pay attention to all the details too?
He did, and we had to do another one last weekend. We had an Aussie carnivore come and visit me from Perth. So I said, well, we'll make the same thing.
Yeah.
And I got up early, I put it in the smoker and let it go. And then I had a live stream or something to do. So I said to my husband, all you need to do is when it hits this temperature, take it out and put it on the bench. So I had to like reach 54 or something like that. And
Okay.
he comes out and he shows me the chopping board with the prime rib on it with this big frown on his face. I'm like, what's wrong? And he goes, it's 61. I'm like, you had one job to do.
Oh
And that's
no.
54, so it was overcooked. Oh, so angry.
Oh.
It's an expensive cut, so you don't want to overcook it. But it was all right. Like, he
Yeah.
can't eat it because it's overcooked, but I managed to get a little bit down, and you just top it up with a lot of tallow when it's okay. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Add
it
some
was
more moisture back to it. Yeah.
yeah. So now he's not allowed to use my smoker. That's my baby now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's,
Yeah.
some things, gotta love our husbands, but some things you just gotta do it yourself. You know?
Yeah, well, he's never been the cook. He doesn't cook. So, and I was so excited that this was something that I could trust him with, but obviously not. So,
Yeah. Sorry,
yeah.
honey. Good. So, and I'm glad your interview went well. So that's fantastic. I can't, Carrie and Adam like giving us little teasers about how well it went, and so can't wait to see.
I can't wait to see what they do with it all. There's so much footage there. So I think it'll be nice. And it's going to be, just to watch my journey as well and sort
Yeah.
of like that's me on the screen. It's going to be hard to swallow. Yeah.
It's probably gonna be a bit surreal,
Yeah.
for sure. But no, you're gonna really inspire a lot of people, I know. And, the documentary is, I'm so anxious to see the final product because so much
Yeah.
work has gone into it and so many thousands and thousands of hours of work. So excited. So awesome. So I don't know, you guys probably haven't got a chance to watch my Monday video where I did my video, I called it my epic Thanksgiving fail.
Oh, what happened? I haven't watched it yet, so need to catch up. Yeah.
Okay, so it's my normal Monday weigh-in. I do a Monday weigh-in video, and I kind of give a recap on how things went over the last week and how my weight is and my metrics from my smart scale and just anything I'm struggling with or dealing with and victories, all that. But so Thanksgiving was last Thursday, so a week ago from today, but we ended up celebrating it on Friday because my daughter previous Monday of the same week got a terrible stomach flu and she ended up in the ER because
Mm,
had been vomiting so much that she just couldn't even get off the floor. So her husband, she couldn't get to the car for him to take her. So he ended up needing to call emergency 911 and they came and got her. And so she had found out there's a nationwide shortage of IV fluids. So she didn't even get any fluids, but they gave her IV Zofran for nausea and it was able to settle her nausea down enough to where she was able to start taking in some oral fluids. But yeah, pretty scary. I didn't know there was a nationwide shortage of IV fluids. If I was still working as a nurse, I would have known that, but I haven't been working for over a year. But anyways, so she just asked for an extra day to regain her strength. So we ended up celebrating on Friday. So I have no excuse whatsoever for all of the crazy things that went wrong for me. And now I stuck with carnivore. That wasn't the fail. But I got this idea in my head that I was going to make these other carnivore foods like the carnivore mashed potatoes, carnivore stuffing, carnivore custard, dessert. And then I was making deviled eggs. I always make deviled eggs. So there's 4 things that I was making, and deviled eggs, no problem. That always turns out great. But I don't know what happened because my brain didn't even comprehend on Thursday that I was not going to have an oven available Friday. And my daughter was coming at 7 in the morning because she was doing all the cooking at our house to get this turkey on. And she bought this 24-pound turkey for 6 people. I don't know why. I don't know why she bought such a big turkey, but it was going to take a long time to cook. And we'd had it defrosting. I put it in Thursday morning to the brine and, to get it brining. And yeah, it didn't even dawn on me. Oh, yeah, maybe I should make some things ahead of time, like the carnivore bread for the stuffing.
Oh, okay.
No, I could have made the custards the day before too and just put them in the fridge because they needed to be in the oven as well,
Yeah.
in a water bath in the oven. Okay, so the realization hits me that I've completely messed myself up. And here I am trying these new recipes that I'd only seen on people's YouTube videos. The whole thing was an epic disaster. So I decided, okay, I'm going to try to do the bread in my air fryer. So I went to the store and we got some extra ingredients for things, but I got this like round souffle dish that would fit in my air fryer. I figured it doesn't have to be a loaf. It could just be whatever. It's just bread. I'm going to cut it up, toast it, and use it for stuffing. Well, halfway through the bread, making this bread, I'm like, it's taking so long. There's no way I'm going to make stuffing. It's not going to happen. And get everything else done. And so I decided, okay, well, we're just going to have a loaf of bread. Then I'm like, okay, I got to figure out what am I going to do for this custard? I had 4 little ramekins. I had 2 of them. I decided to do like a little crust at the bottom. It's kind of equivalent to a graham cracker crust, but instead it has the pork rind panko.
Okay.
Yep. And I added some vanilla powder just to kind of give it a little bit of more of a dessert flavor. Anyways, end result is lesson learned. I'm never doing this again. But I figured, okay, I got to put those 2 I have 2 air fryers and they're in the backyard because they set off the smoke alarm if I have them in the house. But so I had the two ramekins with a little crust in one air fryer. I figured I'm going to do that for 10 minutes and see if I can get a little crispy crust to it. And then I put the bread in the other air fryer. So I went to check on the crust and I'm smelling this burning smell. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm burning my little crust. So I pull them out and they look dark. So I figured it must be this. I'm burning them. So I took those in to the house, finished up the custard, and then it was time for the bread to be done. So I went out and my other air fryer, it's smoking. And I'm like,
Oh,
okay, it was the bread that was burning. And apparently, so I stop it. I try to pull the basket out. It won't come out. It's stuck in the air fryer. It
oh,
had
has it risen
expanded and risen and it had
oh,
touched the heating element. And so I figured, and I was stupid enough. I didn't remove the little grate that keeps things above the bottom before I put the souffle thing in. It may not have helped. Anyways, so that's a disaster. So I figured, okay, I'm just going to walk away and come back, see if it'll deflate a little bit, and then see if I can get it out. So that worked. I was able to get it out. I had a big black round, burnt mark on the top that I cut off. Okay. So I figured, all right, I can slice this bread. We'll toast it. Fine. The custards, I figured, okay, I have a steam function on my Instant Pot. So I figured I'm going to do it in my Instant Pot. So I could only fit 2 of them in there. So I put those in the Instant Pot. And then I'm like, well, maybe I could fit the other 2 in a water bath. I should have just put all 4 in the oven under the turkey. So I did that. But it's supposed to cook at like 325 Fahrenheit and the oven was at 375. So I kind of lowered the time. Anyways, both of those completely overcooked. Totally overcooked. Not even remotely like custard. Okay, then comes the mashed potatoes, right? So you're supposed to start with in a frying pan, and you toast the gelatin, which was fine, and you add some other stuff, and you add all these egg whites, like 32 ounces of egg whites, and you're supposed to keep stirring it until all the moisture is out of the egg mixture. and it's supposed to smell like buttered popcorn. So I'm stirring. Here I am, like probably 40 minutes. And my mast cell activation syndrome has not been put to the test that much overheat for a long, long time. So I'm starting to feel dizzy and overheated. I'm having to ask my daughter to take shifts. So I go outside and try to cool off, and I'm drinking fluids, and oh my gosh. And I'm like, smelling, this does not smell, it's supposed to smell like buttered popcorn when it's ready. It's like, no, this does not smell like buttered popcorn. I have my son-in-law like 3 times come over and he's got his face in my frying pan. Like, does it smell like buttered popcorn? I don't know. My daughter's smelling it. My husband's smelling it. It was like a comedy of errors. Seriously, my son-in-law is sitting over there, like in between time, laughing at me, justifiably. So I finally gave up. My husband finally said, yeah, it kind of does. So I'm like, fine, it's 40 minutes. And at this point, I got little crispies that are starting to burn. Then it goes in a blender, and you're supposed to add some cheese, a couple cheeses, and some cream, and get it to the consistency that it needs to be for mashed potatoes. Well, I burned the motor of my Vitamix out.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I burned it out, so that stopped it in its tracks. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? It's not even remotely the texture of mashed potatoes. So I put it in a pan. I got my immersion blender, and I'm sitting here and I'm like dumping cream in it. And the recipe says to be careful, don't dump too much. But I'm like, I'm dumping cream in it. I'm like with the immersion blender like this, trying to get it pureed. Never did get it pureed. Simpson says this is Chris Cook's national recipe for mashed potatoes. I love it. It tastes just like mashed potato. Well, mine didn't. You're right. It is that recipe. And I wasn't going to be quick to say because I don't want anyone to blame him. Mine did not taste. Maybe you could tell me what I did wrong here, but mine did not even remotely taste like mashed potatoes. So mine ended up having all these like burnt bit little pieces that wouldn't puree, and I couldn't get the texture right at all. And then I tasted it, and it's like, this tastes disgusting. And so I decided to just, okay, fine. I'm just gonna, maybe we can cover it with the gravy. So I made bacon beef gravy. Instead of cooking browning beef, I ground bacon because my daughter needed bacon anyways. And the gravy was great. But yeah, and then the bread, we sliced and toasted the bread. It was horrific. It was absolutely tasteless. And when I looked back at the recipe, I'm like, okay, there's no salt in this recipe. There's no butter in this recipe. It had no taste at all. It had the texture of bread. It had the sponginess of bread. It was horrible. So, and the custard was overcooked. That's my Thanksgiving. And I was all day in the kitchen on my feet, getting overheated. It took me days to recover. It just flared up my mast cell disease. I was an absolute disaster. And yeah, that was me.
Oh dear, what a
That was
mess.
a long story, but
They do say that, like, if there's stress in the kitchen, it shows in your food. So I
oh,
think we'll put the mashed potatoes down to the too much stress.
maybe, or maybe our sense of smell. Couldn't smell the buttered popcorn smell. And
Yeah.
I was waiting to smell that buttered popcorn smell. So I think the initial mixture got overcooked. And that's why I had to add so much cream because I dried it out too much. Yeah,
Mm.
I don't know. Yeah, that is an expensive recipe. All of these are expensive. So I thought it was impossible to burn out a Vitamix. I've had mine for about 40 years. I know we've had ours for a long time too. It recovered, it cooled down, and my husband started it up again, and it did start up. It was just like, enough already. You've done too much. I can't work this hard. Yeah. So same here. I thought those machines were destructible. Yeah. Well,
Oh.
yeah, I just put it to its absolute limits. I'm going to assume because Vitamix is such a good machine, it's probably a safety mechanism that
Yeah.
built in that it will shut down before you officially burn the motor out.
Yeah, it's like an overheat. When it thinks it's gonna overheat, it'll shut down. So it
That's
might be
my
good.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
'Cause, yeah, I was so nervous because Vitamixes are really expensive, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, am I gonna have this is gonna be an even more expensive meal if I have to buy a new Vitamix."
So is your air fryer okay, or is that kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
it too?
Yeah,
That's
no, the air fryer is okay, and,
okay.
yeah, and so I tried to salvage the bread. I mean, I took a few bites of it, and I'm like, "Ugh." I dipped it in the gravy, and it's like, "Okay," but at that point, I had and all these recipes have so many eggs in them. I felt
Mm,
like I was just eating eggs and cheese and a bunch of and gelatin and a bunch of other stuff that's like I missed next holiday, it is going to be beef. That's it.
yeah,
Beef.
just keep it simple. Don't they say that?
Oh
Keep it simple, and yeah, look what happens when you complicate things.
my god, and I gained 2 pounds.
Oh, it's all the stress, yeah.
It was the stress, yeah, and I
Yeah.
wiped myself out. I was fatigued. A Sunday, I was exhausted on Saturday, but then we ended up going to a concert, and we had the Live for Healing Humanity, on Carrie's channel. But Sunday morning, I couldn't get out of bed. And
Oh,
I just
dear.
stayed in my pajamas the whole day and just was completely just vegging out and did nothing other than watch dumb Hallmark movies. Yeah.
Oh, I think you deserve that
Oh,
after your Thanksgiving debacle.
yeah, it was completely that's why I called it an epic fail. So it wasn't a fail from the perspective of, no, I didn't deviate from carnivore, but all those other fake carnivore foods, I just think that's not in my it's not for me to do that. It's like,
Yeah. So did you choose to make all these extra things because of the family, because they're not carnivore?
no, no, because my daughter was making mashed potatoes and she was making other dishes for my in-laws and for her and her husband. I
Mhm,
was making it, I think, because I think my husband, because he doesn't need carnivore for healing as much as I do,
mhm.
I think he sometimes misses the big regular traditional meals and the mashed potatoes and gravy and all of that and the stuffing. And I thought, well, maybe I can make him something that's going to work so he won't feel like he's missing out as much. I didn't need it. I'm
Yeah.
happy with just the meat. But
Mm.
it was really for him. And yeah. So he can suck it up next time.
You probably would have enjoyed just the meat too,
Oh,
I'm
yeah, he
sure.
didn't even like it. I mean, he would have been better off just eating the regular mashed potatoes and the regular food, and then it wouldn't really hurt him. He's very metabolically healthy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would imagine the mashed potato recipe of Chris would be high in histamine, so I can see how it would be hard on you. Yeah, because there's tons of egg whites. Fortunately, I only ate a few bites because if it wasn't for the gravy, yeah, wouldn't have even been able to stomach it. Yeah.
Wow.
So, and I watched Bella. She did a video where she made that mashed potato recipe and she gave it to Max, and he was drinking the gravy out of the out of the cup. And she did it with beef. I did it with bacon. I would highly recommend the gravy if you want gravy and you're okay. There's always heavy cream. I think a lot of heavy cream is also why I gained weight too. But
Yeah.
it's a delicious recipe if you saute the bacon and then you scrape all the you keep the grease, you do the scrapings, and then you make the gravy recipe with it's just the beef broth and the heavy cream. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. See, I get trapped into all these gravies because I enjoy it too much, and I'd want to indulge in it, so
I
that's why.
could not do it often at all. In fact, for me, I probably shouldn't do it, but
Yeah.
the heavy cream just messes me up. But yeah, I didn't want to I didn't want to bring up Chris Cooks Nashville, but since you guys say you made it and it turned out good, then it's obviously it was me. And I'm thinking, yeah, I think I just overcooked the egg mixture.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think maybe too many things going on. He just made his mashed potatoes and it's very simple, whereas you had a lot of things going on, and being your first time, he's probably done so many versions of those mashed potatoes, so knows all the little tricks. So,
Yeah, yeah. And and I'm not a bad cook overall. It's just that I think that it was too much one thing after another going wrong. And it was the trying to smell the buttered popcorn really that I think was the
Yeah,
problem. I was bound and determined, especially after watching Bella's video. She said, "Make sure you go long enough to smell the buttered popcorn." So I'm like, I don't smell buttered popcorn. Like, I'm sorry. Okay, so Jay says, I totally get where you're coming from. Had entertained making CCN's mashed potatoes to bring to my husband's Christmas family dinner so that we can have something to eat besides turkey. Yeah. Yeah. So you've convinced me that it's a bad idea. Yeah. Yeah. Consent workman. Hello. Hello. So, anyways, so that's my story, long story of my Thanksgiving debacle. Last year I did the whole holidays with just beef. So, lesson
yeah.
learned, lesson learned. I'm not going to do that again. So, let's see. You may want to try. It's really good. Yeah, I was overstressed. Yeah. I was stressed and trying too hard to smell buttered popcorn. So I
Yeah.
really would have been I think I would be it would be helpful if in the recipe he would give an estimate. Like should take about this much time. You know, if you have it over, medium low heat, it should take about this much time for you to get the right consistency that you need. The buttered popcorn thing, especially when you don't necessarily not everyone has the same
Smell.
olfactory
Yeah.
ability,
Yeah.
like, right?
Yeah.
So, anyway. But I was doing good, especially like with fitness and with walking and everything before Thanksgiving. Since Thanksgiving, it's been a complete, like, absolute disaster. Haven't had any energy until yesterday. So yesterday, my husband and I, and the weather's been beautiful. So yesterday, my husband and I went for a really long walk. And
Mhm.
so I'm kind of working back up to getting back into getting some exercise because, when I flare up my mast cell disease, I am wiped out.
Mm.
Don't have the energy to do anything. So I think I'm back to where I was before. The recovery didn't take nearly as long as it would have in the past.
Oh, that's good. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So with your busyness, have you been able to do anything?
Not much in the way of my, the steps on my machine. I've have hardly used it at all this week. It's just been crazy with things going on here. My daughter, she had a fall when I had all my guests here. She fell in the bath and kind of smashed her mouth on the vanity because she's blind, and just slipped in the bathroom. So she's been kind of knocked the wind out of her, and she just kind of lost her confidence a little bit. So she's kind of back on track now. So that week I sort of spent a bit of time with her because she
Yeah.
was scared to walk around and just tripping on things and bumping into things. But she seems okay now. But then last week she got COVID. So
Aw.
now, yeah, the other one's got COVID. So but I still haven't got it, thankfully.
Yay.
Yeah, and I think it,
That's good.
yeah, I'm the carnivore, and I'm the only one that hasn't had it in the family. So, yeah, sort of going through the shop as well. So I've been at the shop a couple of times and just helping her out at home as well. Even with COVID, I've just been going down and helping her out. So I
The
haven't.
activity that you're doing is still having you moving.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
spent the day in the shop yesterday. I was on my feet all day, and my foot's from when I fell over a couple of weeks ago at her house when I fell
The
off her
steps.
garden bed thing. My ankle still hasn't been right, so when I'm walking around a lot,
Mm.
my foot just really hurts. So um, it's just hard to walk a lot. So you probably see me limping on on
Yeah,
my videos as well.
do you need to have, like, an ace bandage or something or a brace to get you to stabilize it, give you support?
I don't know. I've got very big calves, so I don't know if I can put anything on.
You could
So
probably do an ace bandage because then you can wrap it according to the size you need.
yeah, look, I haven't been to the doctors or anything. I just don't do any of
It'll
that.
heal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it will. So I've just when I can, I'm just trying to keep off it. So I haven't sort of been, jumping on the machine at all. So I just sort of concentrating on a few like just leg exercises, sitting down and standing up, but not sort of walking. Just doing the next videos, the sitting down ones, and just
Oh, good.
concentrating on that. So, because I'm just scared to keep walking on it, and I want it to heal. So, yeah, it's
Yeah,
been
definitely.
discomfort. So,
And you still doing your vibration plate
oh,
every
that's
day?
going all the time. I have it on under my desk when I'm here, and then I
Right.
stand on it morning and night. So, yeah, that I can do. Even the rebounder, my ankle's hurting on that, so I'm not doing that as much at the moment. So the
Yeah,
vibration plate's really the only thing that's consistent at the moment. Yeah, and then just all the walking around at the shop and with my daughter and stuff. So I
yeah.
am moving a lot more, but it's not like exercise that I plan to do, which
Right.
kind of feels like a fail in a way because I'm not intentionally doing exercise.
Yeah. Well, and I know that that something that I've always struggled with is the whole intentional exercise versus just movement and incorporating the movement into your day. And I know that we've talked a lot about trying to focus more on incorporating movement.
Yeah, and a day at the shop, I mean, that is quite physical. I was carrying big buckets of water and backwards and
Mm.
forwards in the shop, and, like, I'm pretty proud of myself, the stuff that I did, but my head's not registering that is actually exercise.
It is. Look at all those muscles you were using.
Yeah.
Carrying buckets of water? That's heavy.
Yeah, and I was, like, driving home in the car. I was in tears coming home because my body was I was in pain because of all the walking and,
Oh, yeah.
carrying and stuff, and, like, I was just like, I was so exhausted,
Yeah.
that I was crying all the way home because it was like, "Everything hurts and I'm tired," but it was a big workout.
That was a huge workout.
Must have been good, but it hasn't registered in my head. Yeah, I had a full-on work day yesterday,
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
suffering today. Everything hurts. Like I'm sitting here. It's just,
Your body is telling you you had a workout. So,
yeah. So if I
yeah.
count all of those, then yeah, I've had a pretty good week. But because I haven't been on my little treadmill and haven't been rebounding, it doesn't feel like it's been exercise. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I've had
Well, your
failure.
muscles are telling you that it was exercise.
Oh, I found some new muscles for sure.
Yeah, I bet. Well, that's how my mom always stayed in really good shape because she's the one that really indoctrinated me that exercise is for exercise nuts. And why would anybody purposefully exercise? But
Yeah.
she spent every day, she cleaned our whole house and she was on her feet all day and she cooked 3 meals a day and she was getting tons of exercise.
It's that intentional movement. Is that what they call it? Unintentional movement?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Something like
Yeah,
hmm.
she was
Okay.
just active, and I think for me, if I could get to the point where my day was more active, I think I would I'd get more steps in, I would use more muscles, but, we live in a different world. So many of us are sitting at desks
Yeah.
and at the computer all day. So it's harder, and so I guess we kinda have to intentionally exercise if we wanna get some movement into our life.
Yeah. And that's why I sort of try to get up every 10 or 15 minutes and just go and do a couple of minutes here or there. If I go to the toilet before I come in, I have to do something. And I was getting into that habit, but since I've hurt my foot, it's not happening. So if I'm sitting here, I work, and I'm like, oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it later, and then it doesn't happen. But yeah, when I'm out and about, I'm like walking everywhere, doing lots. So yeah, it's been good, but
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're gonna have to talk. I'm gonna check the time, make sure we're not running out. We're gonna have to kind of start planning as we're in December now. We're gonna have to start planning for kind of what are some goals we have. I feel like we've accomplished things as we've been doing this over the course of the how long. When did we start? Was it all July or August?
yeah, July, because we were
Okay.
in Texas in June. So I was home just in time for my birthday, which is the 1st of July. So yeah, we started July.
Yeah, so we've been doing it for half a year. I feel like we've made some strides and some progress, and worst case scenario, at least with our thinking about exercise. And
Yeah.
it's hard. Both of us have a lifetime of not exercising. So
Yeah.
over
And then we've
time.
also had our hiccups through the month. Each month, there's always something going on that has sort of prevented us, whether it be sickness or family or
Yeah.
something that sort of stopped us. But we keep going, don't we? We keep pushing
Yeah,
along.
exactly, because life is always gonna be there, right? Things are always
Yeah.
gonna happen, and so we just can't let that stop us and say, "Okay, we're just gonna quit." No, it doesn't
No.
work that way. And so I did reach out to Rose, and she said that she can come and join us for a live stream, and she gave 2 dates. So I wanted to ask you what you thought. So one of them is December 26th and the other one is January 2nd. So I guess the question is that both of them are, it's the Thursday straddling the New Year. So whichever one you think would be better if you want to start the new year with motivation from Rose, or if you want to end the old year with a motivation from Rose. Um,
I
I don't
think
know.
the 2nd of Jan would be ideal because
Which
that's
one?
when everybody, the 2nd of January for the new
Okay.
year. So
Okay.
I think everybody then that's when their New Year's resolutions start. And like, yeah, I think
Yeah.
look
Cool.
at the second, and like 2025 is going to be my year to thrive. That's my
Yes.
new 2025 is my year to thrive.
I
I don't
love
know,
that.
the theme of the meeting, if you like. And yeah, I just want to just knock it out. So
I do too. I do too. And all these little mental barriers that get in the way, I feel like I really just want to overcome those and start to
yeah,
embrace exercise in my life. So since it says still doing step aerobics as my form of a step challenge, excellent. My quads are getting buff. Oh, I love it. I'm glad
yay.
to keep the lives shorter since these times are when I do them. I don't know, maybe we'll go for 2 hours, Simpson, and help you out, give you a good workout. No, just kidding. But awesome. Well, I'm going to go ahead and introduce what we're doing for our next challenge. And
Yeah,
it's going to be shorter because we did skip a week and we only have a few weeks. I think we should just have this for the rest of December.
I think so. Sounds
Yeah.
great.
And it's
Yeah.
it's low key because I know that the holidays are busy. We're not going to try anything crazy, but we just want something that will be fun to help us just to remember to keep movement in our lives. And so I found this channel. It's called Keep On Moving. And then it's so keep on moving and then K.O.M. And I'm going to show you the channel and I'll put it in the link to a description for the video. And I'm sure Lindy will as well.
Yeah.
Um, but it's not like professional. It's this older lady and several younger women, and they're probably in their front yard somewhere. I don't know, but I just thought this is fun. And there's a whole bunch of different videos on the channel, and there's a lot of them where they just do a quick little, and we're going to call it our dance fitness challenge because some of it's Zumba, it's just incorporating dance movement into the exercise. And a lot of the videos that I saw are just one song. Now there's others that are longer that they do like 10 minutes and they do 3 songs. But
Mm,
there's enough of them where they just do one song so you have like 3 minutes and you're done, or a little under, or 2 minutes and something and you're done. And I thought this is going to be something that I think I can handle for December.
I
So,
love that it's with music because I definitely need something that keeps my mind busy. I can have a sing along and just do, move my feet, gets me off my butt.
mhm,
I love that. So for
yeah.
December, I think this is a really cool, fun
So I'm
challenge.
gonna add it to the stage. I may end up getting copyright strike for, well, at least flagged for playing the song. So I'm not gonna play it for too long, or I may pause,
Or you
but I
could
want
just mute it and we can watch it.
just mute the video. Okay, let me, but I want you to at least hear the song a little bit because it is that so you can get a feel for it. So let me just do a wide big screen here. Okay, so that's the gist of it.
It looks so cool. It
It's
looks
more
fun.
fun with the music, obviously. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I didn't even realize this one has a guy in it. But the lady in the middle obviously is older. I think that this is her channel, and because she's in, I think, most of the videos. But yeah, and then she's got the younger people that are doing it with her. So, anyways, so that's what we're gonna do. So I'll put the link and yeah, line dancing. Yes, it's kind of like, yep, it is kind of like line dancing.
And
So
we can do this in the privacy of our own home. We can pump up the tunes nice and loud. I love it. I love it.
yeah, and I just watched a few of the videos, and they use a lot of like classic music that's, oldies and classic pop music, and yeah, so it's fun. So anyway, so that's it. That's what we're gonna do. And
Yay. I
yeah,
love that one. Looks good.
yeah, it looks fun. And so I figure, if I do that a few times a week, I'm gonna set a realistic goal. Do it maybe a few times a week, and in and amidst the hustle and bustle of life, that hopefully we can incorporate that movement. And I always like doing it more than one time because so I can get the steps down.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, looks like fun. I agree. And
Yeah.
again, like I said, it's not professional. It's not in a studio. It's just like people like you and I that decided, let's make these videos. And they're not as big as Yes to Next, but they've got like 63.4 thousand subscribers and almost 2,000 videos.
Wow. So there'll be a lot
Yeah.
of music to choose from. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not a dinky little channel. So obviously there's people who really like it. And so cool. And it's they have good energy. There's, the videos I've watched, they're smiling, they look like they're having fun. They are not all in sync as far as the movement. And so it's like it's okay to do your own thing. One of the videos I watched, one part of it, it almost had like free dance section where everyone's kind of doing their own thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And some of them, like me, are not very coordinated, so you probably won't look the good, but it doesn't matter as long as you're moving.
That's
Moving
right. And
those
that's the thing. And the channel name is Keep On Moving.
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, so whatever you do, just keep yourself moving and enjoy the music and
Yeah.
yeah, try to get your heart rate up a little bit.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
fun month. And, like, once you've got the moves, you'll be able to put some Christmas tunes on and really get into the Christmas festive with some dance Christmas music. I mean, you can do anything.
yeah. Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
do you listen to Christmas music all during December?
I did one year. I was like all Boney M Christmas. I think we had the I think it's a 70s band or something.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, I haven't really. I don't really know many Christmas songs. Yeah. I do
Yeah.
like
I don't really either. Every year, all December, my husband walks around singing Feliz Navidad. Do you know
okay.
that song?
Yeah, I do know that song.
Yeah. Feliz
Yeah.
Navidad. Yeah. So he goes around singing that all the time, and, my husband actually has a kind of a nice singing voice. He
Oh,
sounds
good.
People say he sounds a little bit like Elvis.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have to get him to do a little demo for us one day.
yeah, he does have a nice I'll have to have him sometimes sing a clip of an Elvis song,
Nice.
but,
Yeah.
yeah, he sounds a little bit like Elvis, but he sings Feliz Navidad. My daughter loves to listen to Christmas music all December, um, so I don't have it on. okay, so I actually like, and I've told you this before, I think I like symphonic metal. And
Yes.
I've got some people that are like independent artists on YouTube that I watch, and I really like their metal versions of some of these Christmas songs. They're really good. Just powerful and amazing singers. These metal singers, they can sing. Like, I don't like the screaming, like people that all they do is scream. But these people that I listen to, they are classically trained. Like the one guy, actually both of them sing opera. Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're
Mm.
classically trained vocalists, but their big thing is metal. So yeah, so I watch them and enjoy watching their Christmas music and um yeah. So but anyways, so I'm looking forward to this. Are you starting to think at all about any New Year's resolutions? Do you make New Year's resolutions?
Not really, because I always break them. So like I start a carnival on the 3rd of January, so that is my so it wasn't the first. So that's my carniversary, which will be my 3-year carniversary.
Yay.
So because I did start on the first and I broke it. 3 days later I tried again and I've been consistent since the third. So
Oh, that's
yes, I
awesome.
don't believe in New Year's resolutions. I think you're setting yourself up for failure. But this
Yeah.
is why I'm sort of taking a little bit of downtime, and this is why I really love this challenge because it is a little bit, it's fun.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that's going to just end off the year nicely, and
Yeah.
then obviously January I want to really start to ramp up because this was supposed to be a fantastic year for me. It was all about me and putting myself first, and then it just didn't happen with
Circumstances outside of your control.
yeah, but
Yeah.
that's why I'm excited for 25 because now I really want to focus on me this year. This new year coming up, and I've got my skin surgery all booked in. Like it has to be my year, and I really want to nail it and get this fitness challenge all under wraps and start
Yeah.
stretching my body and
I want to
yeah,
start building muscle.
yeah,
There's the cardiovascular with the movement, and then there's the muscle, like with resistance training. And I want to start building my muscle because I need to get better muscle definition and firm things up a little
yeah,
bit, you know.
yeah.
So Simpson says, I'm challenging Dave to sing for us sometime. Tell him if he doesn't, I will have my husband sing sometime on YouTube. That would be extremely painful. Keith farts on a muggy day is how we describe. That's hilarious. I will see if I can get Dave to sing something. But yeah. So yeah, I think for me too, I'm kind of the same thinking the same thing that you are, that I want to ramp things up. And it's hard because things happen, but we need to kind of figure out, well, what are we going to do? Maybe we need to have like, okay, here's our challenge, but maybe we always need to have a plan B of what are we going to do if life throws a monkey wrench? How are we going to maintain some form of exercise if
Yeah,
if life does this, because we don't know what's going to happen.
yeah, and like with my things, I've been very consumed with everything about my daughter, and now it's time to like, well, I need to have a balance because I got to look after myself as well because I'm no good to her if I'm not optimal myself.
Right.
And I do feel like I'm run down and a bit of a mess at the moment, and that's not going to be good for either of us. So this is now why I'm just trying to cut back a little bit and just think about the big picture and how I can put a divide in the middle so I can be there for her, but also be here for myself because I need to be here for myself.
And you need to be strong for your surgery,
Mm, so,
because so that you can recover well. And yeah, so
yeah.
that's going to
So,
be exciting. That's going to be exciting. And can't wait for, to see how things go with that, and to see, what your new body is going to look like and how you're going to feel about it. And
oh,
yeah.
yeah, it's not going to look fantastic. I know it, but I don't care as long as I can move. And
But you know what? Yeah, I mean, not to have all that extra flesh, this extra skin,
yeah,
would be a massive
yeah,
improvement.
Yeah, so I'm not it's not about looks for me, it's all about being able to function normally and not have this thing in front of me, which is really impacting my life
Well,
at the
and it
moment.
can help you too feel really good about yourself if you can actually have a different wardrobe, maybe fit in
Oh,
some
yeah, if I can
jeans.
buy some nice clothes, yeah, it's definitely gonna help.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I
so
don't know if it's realistic. Okay, so your situation is different because you are a lot heavier than me. So I understand and that, you have to be realistic about how far you can get as far as your
yeah,
your body. Totally understandable. Everything that you've accomplished is, I'm sure, such a blessing and, you know, to be celebrated. Because my top weight was around 350. I don't know how far I can get with what I can do with my
yeah,
body. You know, I have no idea. So I'm yet to discover what I can achieve. Like I look at people, Coach Lisa, who, she's done courses for our Healing Humanity Life. She's been on our, as an expert. She's been on Carrie's channel. I look at her, okay, she's in her 60s and she was obese. She wasn't as obese as me even, but she was obese and she looks amazing.
yeah.
Like, could I possibly accomplish that? I don't know.
Well, I think you're on the best, way of eating to get the best results possible. If you were having carbs and did all the, I don't know, what they recommend, you may lose some weight, but it's not sort of consistent. But I don't think you have the same autophagy benefits and that you do with
Right.
carnivore. I think I should have a lot more weight, loose skin for what I do have. Like I've got a ton of loose skin, but I think I'm actually coming up okay. Like I expected a lot worse.
Me too.
So yeah, I think we're doing the best that we can possibly do, but there's only so much that your body can heal, and surgery for me is going to have to be an
Yeah.
option. So, but that's something that you probably wouldn't need to do because you didn't have as much weight to lose. So,
Yeah, I'm guessing that I won't need to have skin surgery. I'm still not sure when it comes to belly, but I do notice that I got to a point where the skin is seeming to keep up with the weight loss.
mm,
Initially, I thought, okay, wait a minute, it's not really keeping up and it's getting to be too loose, but I feel like it's improving or at least it's not getting worse.
yeah,
So we'll see. Time will tell. But I don't need to look like Coach Lisa. Just want to make sure that's clear. I don't need to look like her.
yeah,
But seeing somebody that was overweight and then now looks like that makes me at least curious to see where how far I can get.
yeah. And you should never compare yourself to other people, and you just need to do what makes you,
Right.
you know.
Exactly. I don't look at her to say, "Oh, I wish I looked like her." I just look at her to be encouraged that you can be fit in your 60s and you can go from being overweight to being very fit. And so as far as I can get, I'll be happy as long as I'm continuing to make progress and I can feel good about myself, which
Yeah,
I already do, to be honest. I already feel really good about myself. And
yeah.
so
Well, you've come a long way. You've come a
yeah.
long way.
Well,
So,
for our trip to Arizona, so we're leaving on the 3rd. So on your carnival anniversary, we're flying down to Arizona for the Healing Humanity meetup, and we're staying there for 2 weeks. So Carrie and Adam and the others aren't going to be there that long, but Dave and I are making a vacation out of it.
nice.
And so we've planned some excursions. We're going to go on a Grand Canyon rim tour. We're going on a desert tour with the doom buggies.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we get our own little two-seater doom buggy, and we're gonna, have to get all the helmets and everything, and so we're gonna do
Sounds
that.
awesome.
And
Yeah,
then I looked up yesterday. I looked up a horseback riding guided horseback riding excursion, and there's a weight limit of
yeah.
240 pounds, and I don't have to worry about it.
Yay.
It's like, oh my
Awesome.
goodness. this is the first time for as long as I can remember where I have actually not had to say no to something like that with a weight limit, that I can actually do it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, we got to go horseback riding
Oh,
because, yeah.
congratulations. It'll be your first time, is it, on a horse or?
Um, I've been on a horse, but just a little, nothing like not enough to really get the whole feel for how to navigate with the horse. It was
Yeah.
just like someone had a horse and they said, "Oh yeah, you want to cop on?" And I said, "Sure." And they kind of led me around a little bit. That doesn't count. It's like if I'm not behind the driver's seat, it doesn't count.
Or you got to strengthen those legs to get up onto a horse because they're quite tall.
They
You got
have a
to lift
step.
the weight up.
I looked
I
at the
do have
website.
steps.
Yeah, they have steps. So that
Oh,
you just have to go up the steps and jump and get right on the horse.
oh, that's all right then. That'd be my big fear is, having to get up and onto a horse. But yeah, I'm still not
Yeah.
there yet. But
Oh, I
cool.
was wondering if there's a zip line across the Grand Canyon. That might potentially terrify me. I don't know. I
Do it. You only
oh,
get one. Though.
I
Go for it.
might try a less terrifying zip line first, maybe. Just to know that I'm okay with the whole zip line thing. But yeah, I was wondering if there was a zip line across the Grand Canyon. That would be absolutely amazing.
Oh, it would be. Go for it. I'd do
Ugh.
it.
Yeah, okay, that I'm gonna have to really psych myself up for that because I have just a little bit of fear of heights, not a ton, but a
Just
little
close,
bit.
close your eyes and jump. And then, yeah, you'll scream a lot when you get to the other end. You would feel so cool and you're going to say, I want to
Oh,
do that
I
again.
know. I know. It's just the anticipation of it
Yeah,
that would
if you
be,
think too
yeah,
much about it, you won't. But yeah, you just go in and just do it.
yeah. I need to
Get
learn to
bad
be
with
a little bit more of a daredevil, and, I still have this mentality that I'm too heavy and I'm gonna break it,
mm,
you know? And it's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna be that one person that just
no,
can't handle."
no.
I know that's not true, but that's still in my head. It's like, "The harness is gonna break, it's not gonna hold me." Yeah. So, alrighty. Well, okay, Simpson, we're gonna give you a break from your exercise. We've gone 3 minutes over the hour. But awesome,
Yeah,
good. Well, I'm glad that we're back. So we'll plan on doing this for the rest of December. And then I'll tell Rose the 2nd of January
yeah,
works for us.
sounds great.
And we'll
Yeah,
start the year off with getting some fun and inspiration with our friend Rose.
yeah, sounds wonderful. Thank you so much. It's
Awesome.
awesome.
Thanks everybody for joining in, and we will see you next time.
Yeah.